Miss Craig's classroom. Today our writing lesson is focusing on verbs. This is a continued series here on YouTube, our Parts of Speech series, and previously we have looked at nouns and proper nouns and adjectives as well. Our learning goal today is I'm learning about the different parts of speech, and our success criteria is I will be successful when I can identify a verb in a sentence. What's a verb? Let's have a look. Alright, basically, verbs are the parts of speech that show action. They are doing words, as you might have often heard them referred to as. But basically, they're not just showing any action, they're showing the noun's action. I do already have a lesson on nouns and proper nouns, so the link will be above now. You will need to go and watch that lesson first before we start discussing verbs. But basically, a noun is a person, place, or thing. So a verb is a word that describes what the person, place, or thing is doing. So in these sentences, 1, 2, 3, we're going to first identify the noun, and then we're going to identify the verb that is describing what the noun is doing. So, noun, we'll underline in green, and the verb we will underline in purple. All right, let's look at the first sentence. The dog barked. First of all, what is the person, place, or thing? What is the noun? The noun in this sentence is dog. Now, what word is describing what the dog is doing? The dog barked. So we're going to underline the word barked in purple. There you go. We've identified the noun and the verb. The next sentence, the girl played. What is the noun? Girl. Well done. So what's the doing word? The verb, it's played. What did the girl do? She played. All right, what about the sentence, the branch broke? What is the noun in that sentence? What's the thing? Branch. So we're going to underline that in green for our noun. And what did the branch do? It broke. Great job. Now we're going to see if we can identify some verbs in our picture storybooks. Alright, this sentence is from The Silver Sea by Allison Lister. The sentence reads, "We dive through the shimmering wave." In this sentence, which word is the verb? Which word shows action? That's right, dive is the verb. It showed what they were doing. What verbs can you see in this sentence? Splashing and surfing with seals and dolphins. Yes, they were surfing and splashing, so those two words are both verbs. What about a sentence from The Very Brave Bear by Nick Bland? Bear was picking berries from a very wobbly log. In this sentence, bear is a proper noun. Which word is the verb that describes what Bear was doing? Yes, Bear is picking, so picking is the verb. Lastly, this sentence from the Brothers Grimm. They ate all the gardens and gulped all the bees. What words show action in this sentence? Yes, ate and gulped are both verbs. Alright, now for some activities that you can do at home to practice identifying and using verbs. The first activity, which I have suggested for all our parts of speech episodes, is to compile a list of some awesome verbs you found in your favourite books. Read some books at home and make a list of as many verbs as you can find, those doing words. You could put these verbs not just into a list but onto a poster that you could later refer to. Younger students could do this activity a little bit differently. An older sibling or an adult could read the text to them and then specifically ask them, what was Bear doing? Or what was the character doing in this sentence? What was the verb? Once the student has identified the verb, they could then copy it down from the text, or if they weren't ready for that yet, the older sibling or adult could write the verb down, and then the student could copy that underneath, or if they weren't even ready for that, then they could trace over that word. I would get that student to draw a picture that matches that verb. So if the verb was swimming, you would get the student to draw a picture of someone swimming. An extension activity for older students would then be to group those verbs based on their meaning. This is actually leading them into understanding things like synonyms. Now, we'll be doing a future episode on synonyms and antonyms, but basically, synonym means similar, words that are of similar nature. So for example, the word said, lots of synonyms for said. You could have asked, replied, questioned, whispered. So you can get those older students to group their verbs based on similar synonyms, but you could also group them based on context like run, jump, play, skip, hop. So all those verbs are about doing some sort of physical exercise. A step further for those older students would be then to get them to write the verb in the different tense, so past, present and future tense. So for example, the future tense would be I will run to the shops. Present tense would be I am running to the shops. And past tense would be I ran to the shops. So just those different variations of the word run will show how to use tense. But again, I'll be doing another lesson on that later on. Now you've identified all those verbs in your reading, it's time to start putting them into your own writing. Look at that, we just had a cross-curriculum link, reading to writing. Love when that happens. For example, we identified the verb splashing from the Silver Sea text. So now I could put splashing into my own sentence, like the baby was splashing in the little pool. Can you put splashing into your own sentence? Look at that, we read a verb and then we in turn used it in our own writing. So clever. Alright guys, that brings us to the end of our lesson on verbs. Our next episode will be on adverbs, which is a really big one, so make sure you come back and watch that one with me. Were you successful? Can you identify verbs in sentences, those doing words? Please hit that bell notification so you are always notified when I upload. I hope you have a lovely day and I'll see you next time.